are a loving cat parent and you like playing with your cat, but sometimes your cat bites and scratches you out of nowhere. Today I want to share with you how to prevent play aggression, and if it's already happening, how to stop it. Why do you want to focus on play aggression? Because play aggression is the most common form of cat aggression directed to the cat parents. Also because it comes with warnings that might be difficult to identify at first, but once we do, the behaviors can be easy to fix. The other type of behaviors are worth talking about as well, but that's a topic for another video. In this channel we post weekly videos talking about clicker training, positive reinforcement, correcting behaviors, adventure cat training, and general cat advice. If you like this kind of content and you want to transform the bond with your cat, consider subscribing because we upload weekly content helping you elevate the bond with your cat.
Let's work.
Hey you, yes, you. The one that always complains that it takes me too long to get into the solution in my videos. I've added timestamps in the description box down below, so you can skip this part if you want to. But the reality is that we need to understand why our cat is biting us before we try to fix it. There are 3 reasons that can trigger play aggression and can turn your hands into a target. All of them have to do with your cat being in some sort of discomfort, poor socialization, boredom, or overstimulation. Let's talk about poor socialization first, because still today, so many people overlook this one. The degree to which individual cats inhibit their rough play varies from cat to cat, but it's mostly learned through trial and error. Kitties learn how to control how hard can they bite from their moms and their litter mates. A kitten which is removed before 2 to 3 months of age might have not learned how to play, and it can lead into unwanted nipping and to temper their play behavior. I would love to know what's the average age that kitties are brought home, so would you mind writing in the comment section below how old was your kitty when you first brought it home? The best way to prevent play aggression is to never adopt a kitty that's under 12 weeks of age. The second best way, when the cats are already exhibiting the behavior, is to let them know that it's not fun for us. Imagine a box with an electrified floor and also the ability to deliver treats. That box has a prisoner, a rat. Depending on the levers that the rat would pull, the box would deliver a reward or a punishment. This box is called the Skinner box, and it was invented at the beginning of the 1900s by D.F. Skinner to study animal behavior. Luckily, we don't need a Skinner box anymore to train our cats, but the learnings that he got from his studies created the framework upon which operant conditioning is built. There are 2 types of operant conditioning. At a high level, reinforcement is a process by which we encourage a particular behavior so that it happens more often in the future. Positive reinforcement offers an appetitive stimulus after a behavior that we want to see more often, and negative reinforcement removes a nauseous stimulus after a behavior that we want to see more often. So in both cases, the subject exposed to this stimulus, it's improving their general well-being after they do the behavior that we want to see more often. On the flip side, punishment is the process by which you discourage a behavior from happening again in the future. And again, we have positive punishment and negative punishment. And bear with me because these can be a little tricky to understand. Positive punishment, it's the addition of a nauseous stimuli after a behavior that we don't want to see in the future. A very easy to understand positive punishment, it's what our cats are very good at. If I do something that you don't like, you swat at me. Negative punishment, it's removing something good or desirable after a behavior that we don't want to see repeated in the future. For instance, if you don't behave, you're not gonna get dessert. You've probably heard that cats don't do well with punishment and that it can really affect the bond with them. But that's only partially true. Positive punishment, which is adding a nauseous stimuli after a behavior that we don't want to see repeated in the future, can really affect the bond with our cat and can even create fear from our cat towards us. For instance, spraying our cats with water when they do something that we don't like. But negative punishment, which consists in removing something that our cat wants after they do a behavior that we don't want to see repeated in the future, that can go a long way. So, when our cat bites us during playtime, we want to use negative punishment, and we're going to mark the moment the same way we mark with the clicker when we're doing clicker training. But in this case, we're going to mark the pain, we're going to mark the biting, the moment that our cat does something that we don't want to see more often, and we're going to mark it in the form of a complaint. Ow! Quick note, and this is going to be funny, so don't take it into account, but when our cat complains, they don't do like they complain more subtle, more like so try to take that into account when you complain. Make sure that they know that you are being heard, not that you're getting angry. After marking the pain, you step away and you don't play with them for 2 to 5 minutes. By doing that, you remove something that they want, which is playing with you. When that time is passed, grab a toy and tell them how they are supposed to play, which is biting the toy, not your hand. Cats also learn acceptable play from humans. If you allow your kittens to play with your feet and hands when they're small, they might learn that feet and hands are objects to play with. So when they are seeking playtime in the future, they are going to go for your feet and hands, and it can be painful when they're grown up. And consistency is key. Your kitty won't learn that feet and hands are not objects to play with if someone in your household is allowing them to do so. If someone in your household is playing with feet or hand with your cat, the best solution is to kick that person out of your household. That person has to stop. And when it happens, remove yourself from the play area, as we mentioned before. Particularly younger cats and very active breeds have high levels of energy. Keeping them amused and engaged can be a challenge. Cats that spend long hours alone without many opportunities to play might use play aggression to trigger us to play with them, as they would use with their fellow feline friends. Play with your kitty 2 to 3 times a day using interactive toys. These toys are toys that have a feather in one end and yourself in the other end. If your cat doesn't want to play with you, you're probably doing something wrong. Toss your phone on the bed or on the floor if you're a very bad tosser, and pay attention to your cat. Remember that playing with your cat, it's not only the best way to keep them healthy and behaving, it's also the best way you have to bond with them. I will add the toys that I use in the description box down below. Keep in mind that when cats are playing, they are hunting, so move the toy as if it was prey. Try to cross it through their field of vision or move it away from the kitty to trigger that hunting instinct. Sometimes the most interesting part of the playtime is when the toy is not moving and they get the chance to hide and stalk until they pounce and kill it. While stationary toys are not a substitute for interactive play, it is important that your cat has toys available when you're not able to play with them. Offering your cat opportunities to release that energy during the day instead of sleeping all day and waiting for you is also a great way to prevent play aggression. Overstimulation happens when our cat has been excited to a point that the raw feline that they have inside them takes over. When that happens, the kind of aggression that our cat is going to be displaying, it's looking more like redirected aggression more than play aggression. They have all that energy that they need to release, and you become the outlet for that energy. And you can do 2 things. You can either grab a toy and play with them until they are exhausted, or you can finish the play session as it would finish in the wild. Stalk, pounce, kill, feast, and sleep. Feeding our cats after a play session is going to help them relax and get off play mode. If your cat has other behaviors that you would like to stop, take a look at this playlist that I put together to stop behaviors that are, in human terms, unacceptable. And as always, I want to remind you to keep your kitties wild and safe. I'll see you in the next video.